It's tough to be a DCI defending world champion. A lot is expected of you. You're expected to innovate. You're expected to repeat. You're expected to be at least as good and as entertaining as you were last year. That's what's being expected of Santa Clara Vanguard this year. We'll find out how they're handling that pressure this time on the DCI News Network at Field Pass. Well, we finally caught up with our defending champs, Santa Clara Vanguard, our 2018 defending champs. Drum major Andrew Arbouzov and color guard captain Cheslee Morgan are in Albuquerque. You guys did a show last night. What was it? Drums Across the Desert? Was that kind of out in Arizona, right?
Yes.
How hot was that?
It was pretty warm when we first got there, but once the sun went down, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. I don't know.
Go ahead.
Something about like our group, the heat actually makes them more productive. We got out there, obviously the hottest day for us so far this entire season, but I think by far probably the best rehearsal we've had also. So,
guys, it's tough for a defending champ the next year. I've seen that over the course of a couple of decades of following this activity. There are a lot of expectations when you're the defending champion. You're expected to repeat. It's very tough to repeat. You're expected to innovate. You're expected to at least be as good as you were last year. Fans have a lot of expectations. Judges do too. Tell me a little bit about how you handle that pressure.
Well, just like it obviously starts with the membership, just the amount of drive that every single person on the field has. Like, we have an excellent group of people who are pushing themselves every single day to execute the show to the best of their abilities, and that's really been showing, especially like at the beginning of our competitive season. We've had a lot of success, like in all the captions, like guard, brass, percussion. We've been pushing hard, and that's been showing in that sense. And just from like a design standpoint, I think like what makes our show this year so unique is not just like the variety in the sense of like past drum corps shows, but just like variety even within the show. I think like a lot of shows, they harp on a specific idea and they kind of use it like repeatedly throughout the show. But I think like the way we play with so many different musical styles, so many visual styles, and we kind of keep the performers on their toes at all times. Like that's kind of what makes Vanguard unique whenever we're putting on new shows on the field. So I think keeping our program as relevant and as robust as possible is kind of how we've tried to make sure that we're innovating in the future and making sure the 2019 Vanguard is as special as it possibly can be.
I absolutely do want to get into details with Vox Aversio of the show in just a minute, but first, Cheslee, pressure, do you feel it at all?
I think that yes, there is that pressure because we won last year and we've been getting better every year that I've marched. We've gone up in placement, so there's always that pressure. But one thing that we harp on a lot is just being better than you were the day before, and just as long as you're doing the best you possibly can and continuously striving for what you see as perfect, then that's all we could ask for, and score is just our scores at that point. As long as we're doing the best we can and we know that we're doing the best that we can, that's all we can give. Okay,
first, Vox Aversio. When I Googled to get the definition, because Vox Aversio is a Latin phrase. I know voice very well, but I didn't know Aversio. You might be interested to know that it was the first. When I typed in Vox, the very first search trend was Vox Aversio. So I know there's buzz out there about the show. What I learned was Aversio is destruction, ruin, overturning things. So this is the voice of what? Revolution, overturning what?
How I see the show, how we're doing it, is that we are trying to innovate, and the voice of revolution is going against how we all see marching band. We're trying to do band differently than everybody else has done it, and we're just trying to be we're all a bunch of weird kids that don't really fit anywhere, but we all fit in together and we all love each other, and it's always this is the place that we always feel at home. So it's a bunch of misfits getting together and doing band in a different way that we want to do it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of a street feel to it, Andrew?
Yeah, for sure. For me, the whole idea voice of destruction or revolution, it's obviously just if you take it from a literal standpoint, It's about people like going against the grain of culture and finding their own voices within, what they find interesting. But like beyond that, like what I take out of the show is just, constantly striving for what you believe in. Like, in so many ways, subculture or pushing for things that are different, and like, innovation in a sense, as a nature, is like kind of, it's romanticized. So like, like being able to stop and think about what is right for you is almost the revolution. So sometimes that can mean, like going completely against the grain. Sometimes that can mean following it, but like making sure that you're stay true to yourself within that voice.
One of the things that you guys really innovated with last year is your set pieces and the way that they nested together and pulled apart and could stage the horn line and dancers and everything. You have some striking set pieces this year. They're kind of like columns that have a couple of levels to them. Talk to me a little bit about rehearsing with large set pieces, moving them around as opposed to marching drill. How it's different, how the responsibility that you have, maybe some things that fans haven't thought about. And I guess, Cheslee, you're probably the one to talk about this the most, huh?
Yeah. So moving them on the field, they aren't going to be 100% accurate every single time, because the wheels will get stuck if it's in the grass, like if it's not on turf, or sometimes it's just weird things happen because they're inanimate objects and you can't make them do exactly what you want every single time. But I think that we're very, very smart performers, and when something's not exactly right, we know how to move around it and we know how to stay safe with it. So if the props don't get pushed together, we won't do the jump that we're supposed to do from one to the other. We think smart and on our feet all the time. And then just moving the props, we are constantly aware of each other. When we're pulling one down, we have to make sure there's no one behind us, so we don't hit someone in the head. And I think it adds a whole extra level of awareness on the field, because you're not just aware of you and your prop, you're aware of you, your prop, and the people around you, and aware of what drill's coming next, so you know that you're not affecting someone by putting it here, that kind of thing. So I think it's a cool way to just make you more connected with the corps.
Does it make you feel more connected with the audience too? I mean, having different planes in which to perform on?
Yeah, for sure. Because when you're up on the top level of, we call them our stages. When you're on the top level of the stage, you're staring pretty much face to face with the audience at the same level. And it's kind of cool because you get to see you feel there's more to it. You get all of the different planes of just the audience is looking down at me. I'm looking directly at the audience now that I'm on top of the stage. And even with the ladders, climbing up the ladders, you're just raised up so high, and it's a whole different level for people to view you on.
Shows have become so three-dimensional. It's something, I mean, 2 decades ago, we just dreamed of how do you get another dimension on the field? And I think in a lot of ways we've achieved that. I want to ask both of you what it's going to be, what a successful season for you will look like. Cheslee, let's start with you. What would you call a successful 2019 season with Vanguard?
I would say a successful season wouldn't necessarily be winning again. I think it would be to make this show live up to what the designers want and what we want from it too. So just doing the show the best it possibly can be done, and that would be a successful season for me.
Andrew?
I think for me, it's something that I've talked with the leadership team a lot about. It's just obviously we want to innovate as much as possible, but a successful season for us is to make sure that every single member leaves with Vanguard's core values and takes away something really meaningful from this organization that they can bring outside. That's been something that's been true about the Vanguard ever since we were founded. We make good people. That's what we pride ourselves on. So, there's competitive success, but if we can, stay true to who we are as a drum corps and as an organization, just developing strong individuals who can go out there and lead the world, that's a successful season in my eyes.
Two great answers. All right, guys. I don't know if you've seen what we've been doing this year, but we've been ending our interviews with something I call the Box 5 Deep Dive. These are 5 kind of rapid fire questions just designed to help us get to know you a little bit better. Are you game to play?
Yeah, sure.
And you can consult on these. You can give me a team answer. You can give me individual answers. There's no and there's no scoring here. There's no rankings, but that's all right. I appreciate the competitive spirit, Andrew. Here's Box 5 question number 1. What is your favorite drum corps show of all time?
Ooh, easy. 2013 Les Miserables, Santa Clara.
Good choice.
For me, it's Blue Devils 2015 Inc.
A bold choice from a Santa Clara Vanguard drum major picking a BD show. Wow, I appreciate the transparency, Andrew. Thank you very much. This is going to be fun. Box 5 question number 2. What is the best drum corps meal you've ever eaten? Miss Amana, a brand new Miss Amana serving food this year.
Ooh, last year we had this. I'm a vegetarian, so I'm a little bit biased.
Sure.
But we had a salad bar last year with there's 6 different types of salad, and they were all so delicious. My plate was just a full rainbow of color, and I was so full afterwards, and it was just so incredibly delicious. That was the best meal I've ever had.
Andrew?
And for me, we've actually had it twice this season already. We've been served fettuccine Alfredo with bacon and chicken.
Oh,
that's good every time,
That's a carbo loading meal right there.
Exactly.
That's what that is. What is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to marching music? And it can be anything.
Okay, I got one. I think overuse of forte pianos. That's my pet peeve. Whenever they're thrown everywhere.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like I don't have any pet peeves.
If something comes to you after we've moved on, feel free to interrupt and say, I've got it. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Box 5 question number 4. And this one we've put to staff members because they're already in a career. So I'm gonna preface this by asking you, Andrew, what is your course of study?
Well, as of last year, I was a business major, but I'm actually transferring to the University of Houston to study music ed. So
okay.
I'm actually doing that now.
How about you, Cheslee?
I'm an environmental geoscience major with a focus in water.
Okay. Ooh. But that'll be needed in the coming decades.
Yeah.
That's for sure. If the two of you were to abandon those and just go after some flight of fancy, some daydream kind of job, what would it be?
I would be the starting point guard for the Golden State Warriors. I would take Steph Curry's job. That's
Andrew, I like you. I like you a lot, man. Don't hold back. How about you, Cheslee?
I don't know. I feel like I'd probably do some sort of education, just be a teacher somewhere.
Yeah. You want to teach movement and dance and color guard?
That and probably high school science or something, and then also be a color guard director. That would be my second option. Yeah.
Okay. We save our toughest yet I think most fun question for the end here. Box 5 question number 5. I'm giving you unlimited wealth, and both of you are starting a drum corps. What do you name that corps?
I don't know. I'd probably name it I don't know, after some sort of poem or something, Invictus or something like that.
Oh, Invictus. That did not bow at the top of your head. I think that's pretty darn good. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for sharing some time with us. I know it's on your dinner break and you've got a rehearsal day and time is precious. I know you had some bus difficulties and arrived late at your rehearsal site today. So I'm not going to keep you any longer. Thank you for joining us on the DCI News Network.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. It was a pleasure.
We have more with Santa Clara Vanguard drum major Andrew Arbouzov and color guard captain Cheslee Morgan on the DCI Field Pass podcast. And that's available on Apple Podcasts and SoundCloud.